Well, it's over. The most popular and the most influential truth movement for 9/11, architects and engineers, has basically fallen off a cliff. The reason why I'm saying that is because Richard Gage is no longer the president and CEO. According to their website, he has relinquished his position. The organization that he helped to create, which had notable members within its ranks, people that I've come across to know and very happy to have met them, like David Chandler, Wayne Costi, Ken Jenkins, Simon Faulkner. These people who have been really just great people all around, and in the past 10 years have basically been blackballed by the people who are now affiliated with the group and who I feared would take over. About a year ago, I did a video called A New 9/11 Truth Movement, because from my experience, what I was seeing was that the groups within the movement were being taken over by the fringe elements of people like Barbara Honegger, Citizens Investigation Team, which allowed for more fringe elements to infiltrate these groups and act as board members. Truth Action Project, which allowed Dan Hennon, who doesn't believe any of the planes were hijacked or that a plane crashed in the Pentagon, Shanksville, who actually thinks that the Sandy Hook kids sang at Super Bowl 51. People like these, not just donors, but these are board members which have infiltrated the group. And so I did a video calling them out, warning them about what was taking place. And unfortunately, we have reached the final movement, which had a chance to make a difference. And just almost 1 week to the day of the 20th anniversary, which makes me highly suspicious about the motivations for his removal. Was it forced? Was it his own regard? Do the board of directors of architects and engineers, are they compromised by the fringe elements like Craig McKee, who's a lead writer, Andy Steele, the operations manager and host of 9/11 Freefall, Kelly David, the CEO. These are all people affiliated with Citizens Investigation Team, Jim Mars, Barbara Honegger. But on August 18, 2020, the video that I'm talking about, in which I stated, what I would suggest is that a new truth movement begins. And you have this movement that caters to the areas that I just outlined. And from there, maybe in the future, we can get somewhere instead of going backwards, is what these truth movements have been doing, slowly going backwards because they can't go forwards. And I basically am appalled by some of these truth organizations. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to leave architects and engineers out of it because I don't know anything about physics and engineering. That's just well, I now have to add architects and engineers because basically the worst had happened. And so what I did was basically went on my own way and uh, started doing videos which are educational regarding pre 9/11 and how the buildup to 9/11 is important, more important as to what happened on 9/11. And what came after 9/11 is still the ripple effect that we see today. Hardly any of these movements were catering to this, the geopolitical angle, because they're infiltrated by fringe elements like Barbara Honegger. So why is Honegger's influence in architects and engineers? Why did they hire Craig McKee? Craig McKee was a blogger. He's not even a 9/11 researcher, but they allowed him to be a writer. And I think that was because of the direction of Kelly David, who's CEO. Kelly David doesn't believe any planes were hijacked. Why would you want that to represent you, a truth movement, knowing that if the public knows her background and she, isn't very vocal about her position on 9/11, and for good reason, because it would actually not benefit her or the group. Same thing with Andy Steele. About 2 weeks ago, architects and engineers did an article about COINTELPRO and Cass Sunstein, in which basically Cass Sunstein said in the article that if you wanted to infiltrate a truth movement, you would basically just integrate yourself into the movement after a while, get yourself known, act as an honorable member, and start espousing fringe conspiracies. And that's how you subvert a movement from within. And so this article that was written in 2010 by an unknown author or writer, because it doesn't say his name, I did a video regarding that. And I said, that's pretty ironic, in which I said this. Now do the right thing, Richard Gage, but I know you won't because you don't got the backbone to do it. Maybe you can prove me wrong. Fire Kelly David. Fire Craig McKee. Fire Andy Steele for all knowingly promoting false information and increasing factionalism. For promoting Craig McKee, Adam Syed, Sheila Casey, Adam Ruff, and other known idiots and disinformation agents. That didn't work too well with Andy Steele. In fact, they did a podcast, which was dedicated to myself and my fellow researcher, Nelson Martins, who goes by DJ Thermal Detonator. The episode they did is the longest episode they ever conducted in its history. 9/11 Free Fall Radio, which is affiliated with architects and engineers. They did an episode called Special Report, Deception, Subversion, and Silence. And I was not made aware of this until Nelson showed me it. And basically, it was about us. As you can see here, that it was almost a 3-hour episode that talked about, and it's hosted, Andy Steele, the host, and he had on Craig McKee and Bernie Suarez, who I don't know. That's why I invited Nelson Martin, their brother, to do a rebuttal video. And they talked about We Are Change LA. But basically, it was 2 hours and 45 minutes of not addressing our position, but attacking our manner, how rude we are. It was up for a couple of days, and then all of a sudden, we did a rebuttal video. And the rebuttal video was 7 hours long, and we broke it into 2 parts. And we basically rebutted everything they said. That's why it took so long, because we didn't want to leave everything out. And we wanted them to know that we're not attacking your persona, we're attacking your position, which is hurting the truth movement. If you purport no hijackers, no planes, basically it's false. For one, it's false. And 2, it's hurting the movement itself. They took it down. Now, David Chandler wrote a letter to the board because they attacked David Chandler maliciously, and he wasn't part of the response video. And not only David Chandler, but Wayne Costey and Ken Jenkins. And they've been doing this for 10 years. I mean, Craig McKee, who is the head blogger of Truth and Shadows, and he's, that blog has been around since 2011. Excuse me. So basically, all it addresses is David Chandler's position of a plane hitting the Pentagon and Wayne Costey. The whole blog, it's all dedicated to it. It's just a defamation blog of people who believe a plane hit the Pentagon and the eyewitnesses who saw it. There's no real content in it. And that's why it confuses me as to why would architects and engineers hire Craig McKee as a writer, knowing that he is attacking maliciously, personally, and even doxing, having Eric Sandstrom, people like him who follow him, and Sheila Casey, Adam Syed, Adam Ruff, badgering and threatening Wayne Costey, David Chandler, Ken Jenkins, real reputable people within or affiliated with architects and engineers. That's what they did. And I made a video concerning this about regarding their vitriol to David Chandler and Wayne Costey and Ken Jenkins, and also what the points addressed to me. So I made a separate video, but I was part of the response video. Nobody answered, by the way. Nobody. I even personally sent it to Craig McKee. I know I blocked Andy Steele. I have Sheila Casey, Adam Ruff, all these people on block, except for Craig McKee, because I wanted to keep that line open. Because I want him to know that I'm challenging your position. For years, I tried to get him to debate. He won't do it. I even made a video challenging Craig McKee 2 years ago. In which I basically called him out because in this tirade that he was basically ripping David Chandler on his own wall, in which he linked David Chandler in, and of course his blog, which is now dead as of 2019, has written a new article. But I made a challenge to Craig McKee about his position, and I basically said this. Craig McKee, over the past 2 or 3 years, has made it his mission to demean other truthers in his community. People like the respected David Chandler, Wayne Costey, Ken Jenkins. These people he's called out by name. He's called them shills. He's called them other derogatory names and labels. Basically trying to get other people in the truth community to agree with him and to have these people basically pushed out of the community in which they helped build. Now, I do want to make a short message to the debunkers and those of the— I'm going to stop it there because it's basically not addressed. But I've called out Craig McKee a number of times. And I was hoping that in my later videos that it would reach the people, the sane ones in these movements, like the Lawyers Committee for 9/11 Inquiry, Truth Action Project, and Architects and Engineers, a warning. And the warning was simple enough. Get rid of these people because they're going to destroy your organizations from within. Boy, did I call it. But then again, I wasn't the first person to do so. David Chandler and Wayne Costey and Ken Jenkins have been doing it for the last 10 years, but nobody listened. I did, and they were right. And I'm a little bit more vocal than those three. And so that's why I started doing videos warning groups like that to get rid of people like Barbara Honegger and Craig McKee. Why? Because they slowly integrate, as Cass Sunstein pointed in his article that Architects and Engineers reposted 11 years ago to the present day, about how do you subvert a truth movement? Well, you get in a truth movement acting as an innocent civilian who's basically interested in the topic, and then slowly integrate yourselves with the hierarchy of the movement. And then you start espousing conspiracy theories, or you espouse malicious, false charges at the reputable people in the group, make up lies about them. And slowly but surely, you kick these people out. It's a Trojan horse. And today is living proof of that. It makes no sense for Richard Gage to step down as president and CEO 1 week before the biggest anniversary of 9/11, the 20th anniversary. And I'm almost convinced it's because of the pressure from people like myself and David Chandler and Nelson Martins and others who have been calling these fringe elements out for the past 10 years. We warned you what was going to happen. I shouldn't be shocked, but I'm shocked because of the timing. It's terrible. Here he is trying to 1 week before the anniversary, he's doing interviews, he's posting stuff from Architects and Engineers, broadcasting his site, trying to, I think they have a 3-day event coming up, and he does this, in which 1 week earlier, 9/11 Freefall did a hit piece, a personal hit piece, that they took down because of the board, the directors. That's the only reason why they took it down, but they still got the picture up. They still got the meme up. That must have caused some type of discord to where either Gage saw what was happening and basically can't fix it because the people that he helped to be a part of Architects and Engineers now have the power to basically force him out. Or does he not trust his own board to fire these people? In which I told you to fire Craig McKee and Kelly David. Why would you have them in your group? You're supposedly scientists, engineers. You go by the scientific method. If you can't see that a plane didn't hit the Pentagon or a plane crashed in Shanksville, you're not a scientist. You're not an engineer. You're going against the evidence which the eyewitnesses saw, the physical evidence that was recovered, the technical evidence that was recovered from the CVR and the audio of Shanksville. That's what Wayne Cossey, David Chandler, and John Wyndham and Ken Jenkins provided for you. And yet you have people like Craig McKee, Kelly David, Andy Steele, who promote no planes, no hijackers. So that means everything that Chandler, Cossey, and Jenkins, what they're about is basically false, but they can't give evidence to it. Why would you have them involved in your group? Did they come at you with true intentions initially? And then, like Caesar, they stabbed you in the back? Et tu, brute. Is that what Gage is saying to Kelly David, Andy Steele, Craig McKee? Well, now it's too late. Gage is no longer the president and CEO, but he'll be on the board of directors. But what kind of power do these people have? Who's going to be the president CEO? I don't know. Will it be Kelly David? She's the chief executive officer. Knows nothing about the scientific method. For you people and architects and engineers, Kamel Obaid, I don't know who else. I can't think right now. What are you guys doing? What direction you want to go? You want to keep these people on who basically maliciously attack members of your own group, members of your own board, like David Chandler? Did you ignore that for the last 10 years? Chandler's been bringing it to your attention. And people affiliated with your group, like Chris Sarnes, Simon Faulkner, Wayne Cossey, they've been warning you what's going on. I'm not attacking their free speech, as Andy Steele would say. I'm attacking their position. Why would you involve yourself with these people? Because they provided a service? Well, what service would that be? Well, now you can see. They don't provide a service. They destroyed your movement from within, something I've warned you about for the last 5 years. And when in video format, the last 3 years. And it's not, and I told you so. I'm basically, actually, I didn't want to destroy architects and engineers. I wanted to preserve it by getting rid of these people. And now it's too late. Gage is no longer the president CEO, and who knows what direction you're going from here on. But it's not a direction going forward, because now you're going backwards. With the 20th anniversary coming up and you promoting and advocating for people who hurt your position, there is no going forward from this. You'll be destroyed soon enough. Just like Truth Action Project, just like 9/11 Commission, 9/11 Lawyers Inquiry. They're not going anywhere. And now, without Gage, neither will you.